Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop's Place Garage. Today is part 2 of the How to Fix Your Peeling Clear Coat series on the Corvette. We're trying to get this thing refinished one panel at a time. I'm doing this in a small one-car garage, so I don't have much space to get around the car, do the whole thing at once. So we're going old school, homebrew style. We're going to do this car one panel at a time, and I'm going to take you on the journey with me. You can see here behind me the Corvette's tucked into the garage. I managed to get a lot of stuff out of the way, kicked it all out to the backyard. I need a shed for that backyard for sure, man, but I got it in there, and I really want to keep it this way, start keeping the Corvette in there. So, you know, I've got some more work to do. You can see the primer door behind me here. I've got now a target top and a door, both in primer. It's starting to look ugly, but it's smooth, you know. I think it looks great. This is body shop camouflage at its finest. So let's check it out. All right, got everything covered up, masked off. The door, I just wiped it down with wax and grease remover. All the clear has been sanded off. This door, what remains is just base coat. You see a little primer underneath that, but I don't want to burn through the primer. You can see right here, this little bit of white, that's gel coat, because this is a fiberglass car. I don't want to open up the pores of the fiberglass if I can help it. So I'm about to mix up some primer and spray it on there, and my door will be complete. This is my air compressor that I got from my dad. He got a couple of new ones, so he passed me this one down. And this is an old Champion pump here, 2-stage. This is a great compressor. It's about an 80-gallon capacity, and that's what you want for doing body work and paint. It'll keep up with the DA just fine. It'll hold plenty of air for spraying paint. Alrighty, I'm mixing up a little primer. I'm shaking this can real good upside down, getting it all loose. Mix it up. I'm going to mix about a half a quart. This is a 4-to-1 primer. These little mixing cups, they have the ratios on them for you. So mix up a little of this 4-to-1 and add a little bit of reducer to thin it, because this U-pole, it came really thick. I sprayed the target top without any reducer and it worked, but I had to really go slow and get that gun real close to keep it wet and not dry spray on me. So if you find that your primer's a little too thick, get you some universal urethane reducer. Doesn't have to be the same brand. I like this brand because it's available locally and it's cheap. About $20 a quart for that. Alright, 4-to-1, so go to my 4 here. Save all my primer here. Chair is not perfectly level there that I've got this on. My crappy little mixing table there. Let's see. Try and keep my hold that well. Here's my hardener. This is 4-to-1. So on the 4-to-1 ratio on the cup, it's got a 4 on the first line and another 4 on this second line here. Probably can't see that on camera, but let's see here. Put it about level so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, that's about the right amount there. And I'll add my reducer last so that I know my hardener ratio is correct. Mix this up real well first, and then I'll thin it. I'm not going to use the the ratios to thin it. I've just done this enough times. I know about how thick or thin that I want it. So let's open up my universal urethane reducer here. This is a slow reducer because it's about 100 degrees today here in South Texas. It is really hot. So I'm going to use a slow reducer. Now it doesn't take much of this. A little bit goes a long way. You just want to add maybe 1 part or so. You know, if you're 4-to-1, probably not quite 1 part. That's not right either, but I go by feel. I want this to feel right so that the spray wet. I want it to lay out smooth, and I want it to feel those 180 scratches. So the thinner it is, it'll feel better, but not too thin, because you do want it to still be a high build and you don't want it to run. So that feels pretty good to me. Looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and load this up on the gun, and I'll film myself spraying it there. Alright, I've got my primer loaded in the gun here. I'm going to set my air settings and my fan on a little scrap piece of, I'll probably do it on the cardboard right there. And I'm going to go for it. I just want to put this on maybe 1 double coat, get it kind of wet, and I'm going to let that flash for about 5 minutes, and then hit it again with 2 more coats. That's a good wet double coat. I'm going to let that flash for about 5 minutes. Come back and hit it with the second coat. Alright, I've let my primer flash. It's about 100 degrees today here in the shop, so it doesn't take long. You know, I just want to let it flash just enough so that I don't wet it too much to run the primer. I'm trying to get about 4 good coats on here. I double coat it, so this is pretty much 2 coats. You know, I like to build it up. This is a high build primer. It'll take it. You know, it'll cure and dry while it's super thick. So I'm going to get ready. I'm going to spray the second coat right now, or the second go around. It's actually going to be the 3rd and 4th coat. Okay, here we go for the 3rd and 4th coat, the second session of primer here. It's been about 5 minutes, and I need to buy myself a new respirator. I don't have one at the moment. but I have the garage door is open here and I have an exhaust fan, so don't feel too bad or be mad at me for doing this, because it is a isocyanate product after all, and a normal respirator will not filter out isocyanate. You have to have a fresh air system, so it's best to be in a well ventilated area if you guys are going to be doing this at home. And here we go. Mix just the right amount of primer, which is what you want to do. You cannot put this primer back in the can once you activate it. With the hardener in there, it'll ruin your whole can of paint. So you only want to mix what you can spray. This is not like base coat where you can put it back in the can. Okay, so you can see here I've used everything in my can, which is great. I don't want to waste too much primer, so I'm going to go clean up my guns now, and that's it. 2 panels down and several to go. They always look worse before they look better. And that's a wrap. Got the primer on the door. I took you guys through all the little steps that I did. It was really quick. I'm going to keep this video short again because it's going to be a multi-part series. So watch for episode 3, and we'll go ahead and sand this primer and get it ready for some paint. And I'll probably make an episode 4 of actually spraying the paint on there. So bear with me, guys. It might be a little while because we're going to do this car a panel at a time in primer. And I may make another video series on getting the rest of the car in primer before I start the paint. So look forward to maybe a month from now or so when we're getting to the paint episodes. But for now, we've got the episodes 1 and 2 out on getting your door sanded and prepped, getting the primer sprayed. Looks fantastic. A little bit of primer reducer helps me get that primer nice and wet. So that's a wrap for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something. Until next time, thanks for watching me at Pop's Place.